All right, hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Wrestling Universe, and we're pleased to tell you some really exciting news in terms of next year's WrestleMania. Because yes, WWE had finally announced the venue and the date for WrestleMania 36. I know we still yet to have WrestleMania 35. That's a couple of weeks away from now. But of course, we all know that WWE tends to announce the WrestleMania after the present one, and of course, WrestleMania 36 is no exception because WWE always has these press conferences before the current year's WrestleMania to announce where the location of next year's Mania will be emulated from. And of course, basically, WWE basically made the announcement that it will be taking place in Tampa Bay, Florida next year. So obviously that may have given the possibility that The Rock could be competing at next year's WrestleMania, which wouldn't surprise me if that turns out to be the case. However, though, in case you're wondering what the arena or the stadium they're going to be bringing WrestleMania to, it's going to be in the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida, and that is going to be the stadium that is going to be hosting WrestleMania 36 next year. And of course, it will be taking place on the 5th of April, 2020. That will be, of course, Sunday, the 5th of April, 2020, is when we'll expect to see WrestleMania 36. And as you can see right in front of you, we've got an image of the stadium along with the WrestleMania 36 logo. And this is what the logo looks like for next year's WrestleMania. And it looks a bit interesting, doesn't it? It looks very interesting design, a very sort of an unusual design for sort of like an old-fashioned type of design for WrestleMania 36, which is interesting because whether this begs the question that they could be teasing some things for what they might be planning for WrestleMania 36, who knows? But it's interesting. But however, though, Hulk Hogan was actually heavily featured in WWE's, when it comes to announcing the location for WrestleMania 36, Hulk Hogan was at the press conference, and it begs the question whether WWE could be bringing Hulk Hogan to WrestleMania 36, or maybe he could be a part of this year's WrestleMania, given the fact that, well, he's been heavily featured in this sort of press conference for next year's WrestleMania. It may beg the question that maybe WWE are currently trying to figure out plans of how to make Hulk Hogan seem positive, be positive across the WWE fans, because a lot of fans don't really want to see him right now. Whilst there's a couple of fans who really want to see him in WWE, but it's just a lot of fans are put off by him at the moment due to certain controversial stuff that has happened behind the scenes that Hulk Hogan's been involved with. But like I said, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what we can expect from WrestleMania 36 and who will be headlining a match at WrestleMania 36. And even Roman Reigns has said he has a huge match in mind for WrestleMania 36, which I wouldn't be too surprised if he's thinking about The Rock, given the fact that, well, this is one of the matches that has been rumored for quite some time, a Roman Reigns Rock match. So wouldn't be surprised if this is something that Roman Reigns has in mind. And I mean, who knows? Who knows what they could be? Like I said, what they could have as potential matches for next year. But we'll soon find out, regardless, because they're going to hopefully be, like I said, they'll be building up to it as we head into the Royal Rumble, which is going to be hosted in Houston, Texas, in January the 26th next year. Yes, on the 26th of January 2020, they're going to be hosting the Royal Rumble in Houston, Texas, and that is where the Royal Rumble will be next year, on the road to next year's Mania in Tampa Bay, Florida. So it should be very interesting to see what WWE are planning in terms of the road to WrestleMania 36. Hopefully they'll have some exciting stuff planned in the pipeline, and hopefully some interesting things will come out of it. You never know. But, let me know in the comment section if any of you are planning to go to Tampa Bay, Florida next year for next year's WrestleMania. If you're planning to attend, the WrestleMania in Tampa Bay, Florida, and maybe potentially go into the NXT takeover that's going to take place there next April, or April 2020, for WrestleMania weekend, for WrestleMania 36 weekend, should I say. And yeah, it should be interesting to see. But again, we still don't have a WrestleMania in the UK. But I hope at some point WWE does consider bringing WrestleMania to the UK at some point, because it'll be so cool to see a WrestleMania in the UK. But you know, I guess we'll just have to wait a couple of more years until Triple H or someone decides to finally make it happen and finally go ahead and give the UK a WrestleMania that they've been wanting to see for a long time. And a lot of UK fans even say that they want to see WrestleMania come to the UK at some point. I really hope that Triple H does listen to us at some point and actually give us something that the UK fans really want to see. And I hope he does recognise us a bit more when it comes to deciding venues for WrestleMania in the future. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this brief news about where WrestleMania 36 and next year's Royal Rumble will be held. And of course, it's nice to see that we now know where we can expect WrestleMania 36 to be held, and also the date for next year's Mania. Should be interesting what they've got planned, and hopefully they'll have some pretty good stuff in the pipeline. So see you then.